Are we allowed to swear on this during this talk?
Oh wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just like a beep. So, hi. Welcome to the last dinner. The food I have for today is rice and this thin beef. I think it's a Japanese dish called gyudo, and also a poached egg on top. I really miss this flavor because I had it all the time back in China in a fast food restaurant, and it has a very, very fast food flavor that is really nice, and I never had a chance to eat it in Europe, so I cooked this. A very hard boiled egg. Yeah. Because I let it wait too long, I was like a bit distracted when I was cooking it.
My name is Simon Wadlasowski, and I'm a visual artist, and I live in Amsterdam. And I worked a lot with objects. My house is full of things. This is a miniature version of me made in Beijing.
So cute.
So super simple, but it's like my mother once ate this in a Moroccan restaurant, and it's like orange, feta, and black olives with olive oil and cumin. It's super simple. You can do it in 2 minutes, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Super fresh. And then I grilled some mackerel and courge, and because it's very sunny today in Amsterdam, it feels like summer. So I made a kind of Mediterranean fresh summer meal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nice.
And some white wine. I like to drink wine, so I have white wine.
I forgot alcohol, but I have sake.
I mean, you gotta get drunk if it's the last night on Earth, right? Or
Right. Yeah.
I'm Tabitha. Nice to meet you all. And I'm a multidisciplinary designer, kind of doing a bunch of different things and doing some creative tech stuff. I live in Berlin. Yeah, I made kind of a stir fry of vegetables, and then with like broccoli and like eggplant and carrots and stuff, and then also grilled some salmon. Just like pretty simple but pretty wholesome, and trying to use this time while in quarantine to take care with food and just like eat really healthy and stuff like that.
Really a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
real mess.
I'm Wolk. I make electronic music, and I do a fair bit of like programming my own tools for electronic performance and for production. And I teach electronic music and sell these little programs that I make for making electronic music. And basically everything I do revolves around that, which ties into the food because I don't think a whole lot about food. But during quarantine, I've been staying with my girlfriend and her dad, really likes to cook, so he just makes food all the time, and it's really comforting. It looks to be some broccoli and mushrooms and rice.
What is
What
this?
is it?
Ooh.
I know it's the rice cake, right?
It's
that looks
tteokbokki.
good.
Yeah, it's Korean food. With cheese, I made it's a rice cake and then chili paste, fish cake, and the spring onion. That's it.
Nice.
That's like
Bon
Cheers.
yeah.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
This is like really street food in South Korea. Yeah, so, and it's also very cheap, but it reminds me of kind of my childhood.
Nice.
Like I was very, very poor at that time, and I really wanted to eat this. but then I didn't have money, so it's very sad. Also, food.
Simon, my friend Louisa said that she met you in Beijing. My
Oh,
friend
Louisa!
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
that's how we
wow.
connect.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
a small world. It's really funny.
Did she
Yeah.
tell you just
I
that
have-
now?
Just a bit before this.
How
I
do
have
you
so
know
many
Louisa? How do
friends
you know
who
Louisa?
know Simon.
She was one of my first friends in Berlin, actually. So we've known each other for quite a while.
Nice.
Wolg,
Yes.
you do a lot of streaming, and you also did it before quarantine.
Yeah. It's a little bit more regular now. Like my regular schedule, every Thursday I do like a production stream where I share my screen and just work on music. But it's nice. It's like I was surprised at how much of like a community sense you can get. Like that's kind of one of the things that I've started thinking about a lot more this year is like community building, because I realized that like this type of music that I really like, most of the people that are into it seem to be really spread out around the world. So I thought it would be nice to try to bring people together a little bit so we have like a good kind of back and forth, and I feel like that helps with building skills and helping to cross promote and stuff like that.
Yeah, because people discuss on the live chat and listen together. I think that's already like a bonding experience.
Yeah, for sure.
How does everyone else cope with this quarantine situation? Like, because like for me, I was not really online. My work is like event based. Like I do nail salon work. We print magazine and we do performance. Like it's really about in the same space, talking with each other, like right now, right there, that kind of thing. So I am a bit like lost in this time because like a lot of are cancelled.
Recently, I've been working with like a medical institution here doing the UX and UI for like a VR therapy program, but then also doing like face filters and stuff and that stuff. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of events as well, like curating and also planning different like music events and parties, and then also like DJing and BJing at them. So all of that has been cancelled, and yeah, it's interesting as well to really be faced with this challenge of, okay, how do we bring these things online? Can they be brought online? Do we want to bring them online, or do we want to just kind of wait them out to do them after people can go out again? A lot of questions. I guess, Kexin, for you, things like the nail salon, that maybe is quite difficult to...
Yeah, because like to some stuff, if you bring it online, it feels like just a replica of the actual thing. Like if you visit a museum or if you have like a physical interaction with people, you cannot really bring it online.
Hi.
Hello.
I finally figured out how to add people. I'm looking.
I've been sending messages.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey.
Sasha.
Hello.
I haven't started making food, so like you can join me. I'm gonna make a shake.
Nice.
Yes.
It's 11 in the
I
morning.
love it.
I just wanted to come back to the question, like to what we were saying before about moving your practice to the digital realm or not. And
Yeah.
I really understand what you say about like what is the relevance of like schoolwork. You're talking about economic survival, also like how to make money basically. And that I think is like the most, like I don't have any answer for that question, but in general I'm just considering if it's also important to rest. For me it feels really important to rest and let everything kind of absorb. And the idea that of course, like the economic situation, that's the most important aspect of the decision. But if the there's also this idea like, why should we rush into adapting your practice into the digital realm if it's not what it's meant to be, or if it's not where it belongs? So like, I'm not per se, I like, because otherwise we follow the same logic of capitalism and productivity, and like you have to keep on making and keep on feeding the machine. And like, I think maybe there's more, also we need to take time to think about more alternative, not to just keep the same loop. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna go back to the same situation, which wasn't really balanced.
I really like that mindset, but I also think like about how much of a luxury it is to be able to pause like that. Sorry, let me just adjust this before I.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
definitely,
like,
it's definitely a luxury. It's definitely a privilege, and it's for
Mhm.
sure.
if you don't structure your work in such a way that you have enough money to take a pause, or that your living expenses are low enough that whatever you are normally making is enough to get by and take a pause, then yeah, you're kind of caught in this circle of like, you don't have enough time to think about how to make your work make more sense, but then also you need that so that your life has this balance of being able to take a pause every once in a while to think about what you're doing and reflect on whether or not it's what you want.
No, I can't agree more. Because so everything started to feel irrelevant because I am at like my life is at stake. So like I can't pay rent anymore if I don't work right now. So it's like a matter of survival. And then what does it matter if matter of survival is the most important thing? Then I got really confused. What am I doing? And how do I make money? How do I not go to Korea because I have to pay my rent here?
I'm Sasha. I'm in LA. I'm an artist working mostly with video and photography, and I do also some sound design, music production, but mostly video and photography. So yeah, I feel like just jumping in where I jumped in, a lot of what I heard definitely sounds relatable. As far as food, I just finished the shake, a banana, some strawberries, and some nut milk.
Nice.
And now I'm gonna eat some apple cake thing that my mom made because I'm currently living with my mom.
I'm excited to
Sweet.
see it.
Yes, me too.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, this cake looks good.
Yeah.
Well, my flatmate just offered me the cheese brownie that he made.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cheese brown with THC.
I don't know.
Yes.
What?
But you know, as a South Korean, even if I go to a country which where marijuana is legal, I can't do it. I can't smoke it because my South Korean law applies on me even outside of Korea.
No
my
way.
God.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Yeah, I think the same for Chinese.
it's really crazy.
If
Yeah.
there was evidence of you doing drugs outside of
I don't
Korea,
think there's
you
evidence.
could
Like
be
they would
perfect.
trace it.
Yeah, we don't do drugs. We don't do drugs.
I'm just saying, if it's hypothetical, it's hypothetical. We know you don't, but if there was, you could
There's no chance.
theoretically.
They could arrest me based on the evidence. But there's zero evidence.
Good. Speaking of creepy technology, I heard yesterday that Google and Apple have joined together, which already is scary, but they joined together to create something that allows you to, if you find out you have coronavirus, track all of your like most recent contacts.
It's crazy because it's like it's, as far as like stopping the spread of an epidemic, it's a great idea, but from every other angle, it's like not so good.
Yeah. And also too, like when large bodies, like governments especially, have access to power like that, maybe they use it for the time, but they don't give it up after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the main danger. Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people like are quite supportive on this surveillance system. Just looking at the examples in China, because a lot of people think that China did a good job when a lot of surveillance happened. So it's also like a lot of nationalists. They're saying, look at the Chinese system; it works the best in this situation. I find it a bit stupid because they're just like it's boosting their nationalism, like their.
I was gonna say, don't you think this whole pandemic is just bringing us like closer to this whole idea of crossing technology with the way we think, the way we behave? I mean, we're still in this very like early stages of it, but kind of propelling us forward. And like these kind of virtual hangouts are not going to be uncommon at all. In 20 years, it's probably going to be more like the norm as opposed to going to a dinner party. And they'll be much more advanced, and they won't have like this weird club gating clipping sound going on.
Yeah.
I feel like the
What do you call it?
internet should be like 10G in future to make it possible. Because if we like keep having this chopping, I have been thinking of all these frustrations on this video chat room, and I had this idea of like performing it to stage this glitch or delay. And for example, like
You've been already glitching so much that I
something
don't know
like
if you're doing that.
you're not told any. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, was that a
like
performance though? We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Simon is, yeah.
Say hi.
Wow.
Oh, you have a dog. Oh my god, so cute.
I was gonna say also about the digital hangouts thing. I wonder, because you know how there's like sex toys where you can transfer the sensation of, well, loosely transfer the sensation of touch between people in two different places. I wonder, being in the same physical space does, I mean, it's not just about the sensation of touch, but that is like an element of it. And I wonder if like how long it will be until we get like video conferencing where you can at least shake the person's hand or something. Well, now I guess we're not supposed to shake hands, but there's a sex toy company that does like all open source sex toys. Like I suppose if you made like a vibrator sleeve that was like a hand or something, then you could. If you made like a vibrator sleeve that was a hand that had this like open source circuitry on the inside, then you could probably hack it to make it so that at least you could sort of shake hands and it would vibrate when you or something. I don't know why that. I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing that idea with us. So Tabitha's her whole building power is out.
Oh no!
So she can't run the internet router.
In a way, it's kind of nice because you don't have to say goodbye. It's just like, it's an
like
easy
to
out.
avoid,
Like,
to avoid awkward situation on online.
It shows that we cannot. It shows that we cannot count on electricity or Wi-Fi either, right? So it's not like it's not like either or. It's not like the physical or the digital, because that's too binary. It seems.
I mean, but you could never in a physical. I mean, there's very few. I think I know a couple friends that it's just like you just leave, you just part ways, and there's no words spoken, and you're just like, it's
That's
okay,
true.
you'll see them again, but there's very few friends you can just do that with. But in a virtual space, it's like, okay, yeah, my call dropped,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
call
yeah.
them later. You know, it's not.
Yeah, if you vanish from the party without saying goodbye, it's not a good look.
There was this guy that used to hang out at this coffee shop I used to hang out at all the time in Calgary. And the way that he would end conversations is he would say, well, goodbyes are awkward. And then he would just walk away.
There's this, a journalist was interviewing a person from WHO, and she was asking about Taiwan and China. He didn't want to answer it because it's super sensitive and he doesn't want to cause any trouble. He was really literally doing like, he was like not saying any words even though he hear it. So he was like, hello.
Oh, he was doing that on purpose to
It's
sabotage.
like, yeah. And that's like official journalist like interview, you know? And it's like such a global moment. And he was just like, yeah, I hear it.
I wonder how you, because we are not sure what's going to happen in a couple of months. How are you going to carry on your life?
Isn't it the last day on Earth?
Right.
Has anybody else been really horny all the time? Or I just want to fuck. I just want to fuck all the time. If you're gonna go, what else are you gonna go? Do your taxes?
It's brought more thoughts about like holds and like what like thinking about like family and like this types of things. So it's almost like an emotional horniness or something. It's like looking for some feeling of like, oh, where is that emotional like orgasm?
Emotional orgasm.
Yeah, I feel like I get like sometimes more emotional than before when I just call someone.
Yeah,
It's like
totally.
a deeper attachment sometimes.
Right, because everything feels so impermanent.
This got me thinking that like what's important in my life has been more vivid than before, because this situation kind of filtered all the other elements, like which I didn't think that it was important, and like the most important became more important for me. So people I was very close to, they are like even more close to me now.
But I think what it made me realize, like, because, you know, I'm an artist, I live by myself. I'm used to spend a lot of time by myself. So in a way, it's kind of a familiar situation. But if I choose to do this, if it's a choice, it feels very different than if it's imposed. And now that it's imposed, I realize, oh, actually, maybe I don't want to live. Because the thing is, often, to be honest, I'm often very overwhelmed by social, you know, there's every day an opening in Amsterdam or a concert or a book launch. And, you know, I've lived here for 20 years, so I know so many people in town. So it feels always overwhelming to always be like social and be everywhere. So I often have to come back to myself and to kind of regenerate. But now that it's imposed, I feel like, oh, actually, maybe it started to really, you know, consider what is my own choice and how do I want to live in the future.
Yeah, I'm prioritizing social relationships a little bit more in my life now. Like, because for a long time, I really prioritized just spending more time in front of my computer working on my music and programming and stuff. And that kind of took priority over a lot of social events and stuff. I realized how I needed to make my work more profitable because, right, so there's these other like small costs that come into that which never were part of my accounting. There was this interesting shift of like, okay, how do I make it so that I can afford to have a better work-life balance? How can I make it so that I can afford to have these social relationships? So how do I structure things that are in some way part of my working life to be also more social?
My friend sent me this really amazing essay. It's quite a long read. One of the main thing that stays with me was the idea of like, especially the Western society tries to reject death as like the ultimate goal of, but actually what means living. You know, what does living mean only rejecting death? To what extent should we justify all kind of actions only to delay death, because death is the only thing that we know is constant?
If we can approach it as something that we would like to experience, it is also the biggest and most powerful experience we're ever going to have in this whole lifetime. I mean, without a doubt. So if we can approach it as something that we would like to fully experience with like full consciousness and full acceptance, like how are we going to get to that point where we're ready and say like, okay, good, I accept what I've done in this lifetime. I'm like ready to leave, whatever that means to you, like spiritually or not, you know.
I want to experience virtual sex before I die. And
we just need to
I think it's a good way to conclude this.
Bye.
Bye.